The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
I can't hear you, Nick. Can you hear me, Nick? Because I can't hear you. Did Nick mute himself? All right. I can't tell if it's my shit or his shit, so bear with us. I think it's Nick. Sorry for the dead air. If it happens to be Nick, I'll just keep talking right now. Nick is pointing that it's definitely him. Welcome to episode 81 of the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. March 16th, the day before St. Patrick's Day, and me being a proud Irishman as I am, that means Irish car bombs galore. Once it hits your lips, it's so good. Pardon me. So we have an excellent show for you as always. Nick is still working out his audio problems. It looks like he's just yelling at the mic as if it cut him off in traffic. It's pretty exciting stuff, honestly. That Irish car bomb was absolutely delicious. I had corned beef and cabbage today at a pub nearby. Oh, I hear myself echoing. Nick, are you back? Yes? No? The only thing I can hear right now is my wife yelling at our dog and the dog we're sitting for my parents.
You got me now?
Oh, is he back? He's back.
Damn. Oh, technical difficulties up the wazoo, but I'm back. I'm back like a bad case of the crabs or Ryan Leaf's opinion. I'm in a bit of a Twitter row right now with Ryan Leaf. He was talking some shit about the New York Jets, to which I had to respond with, who the fuck are you to talk about anything? You're a failed fucking quarterback. Like, arguably the worst fucking drafted, biggest bust in the history of the NFL. And obviously, I guess Zach Wilson to this point is up north toward that direction. But I do know this, Zach Wilson probably is not going to get arrested for multiple burglary attempts and or beating his wife in the next 20 years or so. I don't know. Ryan Leaf got arrested for domestic abuse like 3 years ago, and people are applauding him like he's some sort of fucking hero. He's one of those people that's like, God bless
the shit out of him is the hero.
My life around, and I went through struggles. God bless you. Yeah, until the next time you have like 3 beers and you fucking decide to molest somebody or break into somebody's house and rob them. Fucking real life. Fuck you, Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, you were irate today. Cheers, brother. You're very irate. Very rarely do I see you get irate, Nick. Honestly, it's usually me who takes the tact of being an absolute asshole, especially behind the keyboard, where it's just easy to be a dick and you don't have to see that person at work or anything like that. So why not? But you took the tack of just aggressor and you went at him hard.
Listen, when you say stupid
You were
shit,
not all no good karma.
listen, here's the deal though. When you say stupid ass shit, okay, and you're just saying it for clicks and giggles, right? You deserve to be slammed, especially when it comes from a position of no integrity.
I mean, at 99% of what's on the internet, especially Twitter, is zero integrity. It's people talking out their asshole.
No, you're right. But if you don't like, there's very few people that have an actual resume that show that you have no integrity. My man's rap sheet shows that not only does he make bad life decisions, but his stat list shows that he can't fucking play football either. So what the fuck does he know about any of it? So shut the fuck up and sit on the sidelines and be quiet. That's it. It's not like we're listening to Tony Romo talk about people playing. The man goes, I think Aaron Rodgers going to the fucking Jets is a mistake. He's not going to be well there. Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time MVP and Super Bowl winner. You, as Ryan fucking Leaf, are in no position to sit there and say that anybody. Tim Tebow has more to stand on as a quarterback in the NFL than you do. There's nothing for you to fucking say. Shut the fuck up. Sit there, let the big boys have the conversations. Fans can have the discussion amongst fans. But as a former professional, sadly, if you don't have anything that the person you're talking about has, shut the fuck up and sit on the sidelines. Like, I could see if he became a coach and he became a well thought of and respected coach, because not everybody's meant to be a great player, then okay, you've got something to talk about. But he's not even that. He just got arrested for beating his girlfriend up 3 years ago. He's arrested for burglary. I know people that live in the fucking projects that haven't had as blessed a life as this guy and have shorter rap sheets than he does.
It's pretty funny. I mean, to touch on a couple of those things, yeah, I would say Tim Tebow with the playoff victories definitely puts him on a higher pedestal.
Absolutely.
Easily. Life experience and overall jackness. I mean, he was kneeling when it wasn't popular.
Listen, I got news for everybody. At least Tim Tebow's never been arrested. I'm not a Tim Tebow fan by any stretch of the imagination, but the man never spent a day in jail. Ryan Leaf just got sentenced to 5 years, already served just 3 years ago. Like, technically, if it was you or me, we'd be in jail still.
Unless Rook was our lawyer, because then we would get life.
That's true. 1-800-CALL-ROOK. You don't have to spell the K, but I do anyway.
You're a good friend. So I hate focusing on negative stuff that happens in people's lives, because people can screw up. They can make mistakes, and they can, I guess, atone for them in a certain way. And Ryan Leaf doesn't have to atone to any of us. He has to atone to his poor wife that he beat and the people that he burglarized. So, I mean, I'm in no position to let him off the hook right now. But, I mean, as angry as I get in real life, in the here and now, is how mad you get on Twitter. I think if me and you connected and we're on the same wavelength, we'd probably be in jail for a long time.
But to be fair, though, I didn't say anything insulting. I just said, why is anybody listening to this failed quarterback? Why does he have an outlet?
That's insulting.
I mean, his fucking career was insulting to anybody who's a Chargers fan.
I am not saying what you said is not true. I am not, but sometimes it's better to hold back on the truth. I mean, it's like when one of your friends has a baby and they're like, "Oh my God, isn't the baby cute?" And you're like sitting there like, "Fucking no."
No.
Looks
well,
like
here's what
an
happened.
alien.
Here's what happened. He said his baby was better looking than my baby. That's what the fuck happened, okay? That's what fucking happened, okay? He sat there and he said, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, that's fucking ridiculous. LOL Jets. That's what he fucking said, all right? So fuck him, okay? He's a wife beater. Fuck him.
So let's break that down. Let's break that down for a little bit. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. What is the downside when the Jets right now have the talent offensively and the talent defensively to win if they had a quarterback to propel them deep into the season and into the playoffs. Okay? Where's the fucking downside at taking the chance, the flyer on Aaron Rodgers? And I understand the history of us taking the flyer on Brett Favre.
Brett Favre got hurt. That's a different thing. He got hurt. We were winning. We were 8-3 with Brett Favre until he injured himself.
Brett Favre got hurt, but Brett Favre also is a chuck it and pray quarterback. He was not a system guy. He didn't learn the playbook. He went old school, schoolyard football. If you were fucking open, I'm throwing you the ball there. Whereas Aaron Rodgers is very accomplished in his career. Aaron Rodgers just as accomplished, I would say, as Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers has the Super Bowl in Green Bay. He's going to come here with a little bit left in the tank. I'm not saying he's in his prime, but he is not. He is nowhere near the edge of the cliff where he's going to fall off and be unserviceable. So if he comes here, and personally, I think best case scenario, he comes here, you get 2 solid years out of the guy, and Zach Wilson can sit here behind him and become a serviceable quarterback himself, learn something. I do not see a downside. Worst case scenario, they don't go anywhere with Aaron Rodgers. Something happens, or Aaron Rodgers is a bust, whatever. But it's not our fucking money. Who gives a shit? I don't understand anybody there and saying oh yeah, no, why would you bring him in? You would, if you're going to sit here and argue and say that Derek Carr is the better option. Where is his Super Bowl rings?
Where's his MVPs?
Yeah. Show me why he's the better option because he's a little younger. What does that mean? So in his prime, if he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers is now, why would we go with that option?
You know, the wild part to me is a lot of people are saying, well, Aaron Rodgers is going to be bad for your locker room. Everybody that plays with Aaron Rodgers loves Aaron Rodgers. Guys in Green Bay are sitting there posting tweets saying they love Aaron Rodgers. So who doesn't like Aaron Rodgers? The media doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. Why? Because Aaron Rodgers doesn't talk to the media. Fucking Pat McAfee. I love Pat McAfee, by the way. I'm not a big Pat McAfee, watching Pat. I'm not a dick riding Pat McAfee kind of guy. I don't subscribe to Pat McAfee, his little YouTube thing. But I just watched his show in its entirety for the first time yesterday, because I was interested in the Aaron Rodgers news. I think 490 something thousand people watched his show yesterday. It was the biggest show ever. But the fact that he stuck it to the media just made me so happy that the Adam Schefters and the fucking Ian Rappaports of the world were sitting there going, but I do this for a living. You should talk to me. Fuck you. They all need to be put in their place and understand that their job is a privilege, not a right.
I agree. And they hide behind I guess
they hide behind the First Amendment.
I was going to say they hide behind the smokescreen of them doing it for, yet not a single fan wants to hear the fucking shitty questions that they have to ask. So Pat McAfee, I'm the same as you. I don't really watch his show regularly, but I will watch his stuff. And I think Pat McAfee's he's a very clickable, clickbait, take him in 10, 20, 30-second clips, and you get the gist of the point he's making. He's the everyday man that played in the NFL. He's the blue-collar, me and you, drinking a beer, rooting on his team, getting angry, throwing something at the TV. Hot under the collar, but real dude. He's real. And I like his takes, and I like watching him. And as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, they couldn't find anybody to talk that he played with. Right? When the media was trying to go after him for, was he vaccinated? Was he not vaccinated? And he essentially told him, go screw. My medical, chart is not public knowledge or the media's knowledge. So kiss my ass and move along. I don't have to tell you shit. Too bad. You don't like it? I don't give a fuck. And the media was trying so hard to run this dude down just on the COVID woke bullshit of, Dr. Fauci-esque, wear a mask or you're the devil. And they call one dude to be like, yeah, fuck that guy. He doesn't tip well. They couldn't find that guy. And he looked like, what's his name, from Con Air. In his wife beater and his long hair. Dude, how do you not love him?
Yeah, you're right. Listen. Again, his teammates love him. He gets along with Hackett, We've got some young studs. We picked up. You know what? Lazard is not a bad pickup. People are looking at Lazard like he's our number one guy. He is not. He's number 3. It brings
number 3. Alan Lazard, $44 million for 4 years. Chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. So no brainer, easy. Why the fuck not?
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a killer to me.
Not at all.
A couple things I loved about Pat McAfee's show yesterday. The first thing is he let Aaron Rodgers talk. He didn't ask any questions. So Aaron, go ahead. Tell us what you want to tell us. Love it. Because I didn't show up to listen to Pat. God bless Pat. I love him. I love him as a WWE personality, which unfortunately today we found out that he will not be doing anything with WWE in the near future or for the first future.
Long.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I really love Pat on WWE because he's a real fan. He's a fan that they gave a microphone to, which is fucking great. Which is great. You know, he's not in the system like all the other announcers. I'm not saying the other announcers aren't fans. I'm saying that they're now in the system with they're part of the show. Pat's not part of the show. He's part of the show, but he's an outsider that's a part of the show now, where he's still like a fan, like, wow.
It's funny when somebody as big as Pat McAfee with the following that he has is a genuine fan and has the passion for the sport. And, you know, as the entertainment enterprise that is WWE, as we do, to see them go so hard in the paint, if I don't understand, like, and people hate on that shit, like, oh, who the fuck is Pat McAfee? What does he have to do with wrestling? It doesn't matter. It's entertainment, and the guy loves it just as much as the rest of us.
It's
so if he has a fun little spot or a fun little take, or he can get involved, I defy you to say that you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't pay $10,000 to do it yourself and be where he is. Kiss my ass. Don't be jealous. Roll with it.
Lawrence Taylor did it. Mr. T did it. Pete Rose did it. Fucking how many
Donald Trump did it.
How many Donald Trump did it? How many celebrities have shown up at Arnold Schwarzenegger did it. He was in there for a little bit. Fucking Johnny Knoxville wrestled at WrestleMania.
Steve-O.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Steve-O, wasn't it? No, it was Johnny Knoxville. It was Johnny Knoxville. He fought Sami Zayn.
Steve-O did it as well.
I'm not sure if it was a Mania, but Wee Man showed up.
Steve-O, the one with Steve-O, because I watched Steve-O's podcast. I actually like Steve-O's podcast. We're playing a lot of podcasts that aren't us, but fuck it. Steve-O's podcast is pretty cool, very entertaining. He's a real dude. He doesn't pull punches. He tells you exactly, you know, how fucked up his life was and how fucked up Jackass was. And dude, if you're gonna sit there and be honest with a microphone in front of your face, who gives a shit? I'll listen to you, especially when it's entertaining. But Steve-O was talking about, like, I didn't understand that, like, you know, while it isn't real that we didn't just get the savage beating of our lives, we are taking lumps, and we weren't understanding that we're supposed to stay down. Athletes are getting mad that we're not selling hard enough, that they're beating the shit out of us, and they are just going to fuck us up more, and we're so dumb that we're trying to get away from it instead of just staying down and playing dead like you're fighting a grizzly bear. So I'm like, yeah, that's great. And if you go back and watch that clip where Steve-O gets the shit kicked out of him, you can see, like, it's just like, all right, you're going to get back up. I'm going to throw you around a little bit more. It's going to hurt.
Utmost respect for wrestlers. But staying on topic, Aaron Rodgers came out on Pat McAfee show yesterday. Unlike ESPN, I'm not going to credit myself with this breaking news like they credited Adam Schefter tweeting stuff that he saw on the Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers says, I intend to play this year, and I intend to play for the New York Jets. Obviously, breaking news when it happened. As you can see in the background, I'm a Jets fan. I am. Which, I mean, it's good stuff for us. It really is. How did you feel when he said that?
Dude, I love it. I'm glad. The one thing that irked me, and I'm glad it was complete fake news, and a lot of people dismissed it as bullshit, where he sent his list of players that he wanted to come here, and it was quickly like, yeah, no, that never happened. That's horseshit.
He fucking laughed. He literally laughed at it, and he goes, you know, one thing that he said that that resonated with me. He goes, he tweeted it a couple of weeks ago. He goes, if you see something about me that didn't come from me, it's fucking
real. Yeah.
It's both. So I saw a whole bunch of people sitting there saying stuff on Twitter, and that was Diana Rossini. She said that he had a wish list. And he goes,
right.
Who said I loved the interaction with
By the way, one more Irish car bomb.
There you go. Chug it, my friend. Get it. Get it. Steven would have drank it faster.
Steven's used to opening up his throat really wide. I don't know where he learned that. Might have been the village, but whatever.
Steven is his little brother. But he came out, he goes, I think it was Diana, and like her name wasn't important enough for Aaron Rodgers to know.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Yeah, and Pat McAfee goes, Rossini, he goes, yeah, I'll tell her the same thing I told Adam Schefter when he got my number and text messaged me. Nice try, lose my number. And that's what it came down to. Is she heard something, and it's the telephone game, people. It is a telephone game. It's one of those situations where I heard that so-and-so said something, and now I'm telling you about it, but I don't remember exactly what they said. And now you have to figure it out for yourself what they said. And it became like so what do you think about Odell Beckham Jr.? Well, I wish I could play with that guy. He's really good. What do you think about Alan Lazard? Oh, I love playing with Alan. Alan was fucking awesome. What do you think about Randall Cobb? Randall Cobb's one of my best friends. I love Randall Cobb. He's great. What do you think about Plaxico Burress? Oh, he was fucking trash. I'm not a big fan of his. What do you think about? And then you go through a fucking list of 20-something people that you played with or would play with or are free agents or are eligible for a trade and what you think about it. And all the person that overheard the conversation heard was, I wish I could play with that guy. And he goes, oh, yeah, Aaron had a wish list of all these people he would rather play with.
No,
is that what happened, or did they ask him about 20 guys and he gave him his opinion on 20 guys?
It's amazing, and that's the one thing. It's funny. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk runs Twitter now and took it over, and it's a lot more free, I would say, and a lot less people getting banned for saying things that regardless of like how they feel, just the truth, and the truth is not getting suppressed as much anymore from different sources that you wouldn't want to, it seemed like things were getting kept under wraps. But the one thing that's come to light is how absolutely useless the media is. Like the mainstream media is just pomp and circumstance and spin. It's bullshit. They're delivering whatever they want to deliver. Dude, it's like they're walking up to your front door to sell you a vacuum you've never heard of and shitting on Hoover because fuck Hoover, we want to outsell them without providing any proof as to why their vacuum is better. You know what I mean? They're snake oil salesmen at this point. And you can go on Twitter and find out the truth. And like you said, I can hear from from them themselves. You know what I mean? It's amazing how you can see exactly what somebody, a celebrity or an athlete, whatever, your favorite singer, what they said and where it's coming from, and call them out on it. And if it's erroneous enough, they might tweet you back like, yeah, never said that. That's horseshit, And Entertainment Tonight is smoking crack. I don't know what to tell you. I love it because you cannot watch ESPN. You cannot watch the Adam Schefters of the world because all they're trying to do is throw a fucking fistful of darts at a wall, and whatever sticks, they can say like, "Oh, I said that, right? I called it." That's all they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And guess what? It's like how the sports betting phone lines used to be back before sports betting was even legal. What a lot of people would do would get like a 1-900 number. Allegedly, but factually. Oh, no, I don't have to. I'm not naming any one person. But before, when you had your local bookie, what these 1-900 numbers would do.
What was your local bookie's name?
Nick. You take all of my action, but we'd only bet booze and firm handshakes. But, dude, what these guys would do is, let's say you get 100 people that call your 1-900 number. Keep it basic, keep it simple numbers. 100 people call you. I would tell 50 people to bet on the Jets this week, and I would tell 50 people to bet on the Bengals, and that would be my free pick to them. Guess what? 50 people are calling me back really happy that they won their bet. While the other 50 are like, oh, this guy sucks, but who gives a shit? I just hooked in 50 people. And now they're like, oh, what's your next pick? Like, oh, you want my next pick? It's $10 a month. I'll give you my next pick. And guess what? Now you got them. You got your money. It doesn't matter if you don't hit a single thing the rest of the fucking month. You already got there $15. Doesn't matter. and then you do it again the next month to a new set of rubes. So that's all we are, is rubes. If you're trying to watch this bullshit, they think that you're easily bought, you're easily sold a pile of shit. And you can now just go straight to the source on Twitter. You can just hear it right from Aaron Rodgers himself on Pat McAfee. How amazing is that? And then they hate it. Dude, they fucking hate it. The Larry Brookses of the world want to sit there and shit on Igor Shesterkin and Halak for not talking to the media. Oh, this is unreasonable and unbelievable. Because why? Dude, how many times can you answer a question of when you lose 6-4? What happened there? I don't know. I let in too many goals? Well, how would you change that in the future? Stop more pucks? What do you think would be the key to victory if you could do it all over again? I don't know. If our team scored more goals, it really doesn't matter what I do. Like, the most erroneous questions. Not like, hey, dude, how you feeling today? Were you on your A game? Was something amiss? Did you have a bad practice? Moving forward, like, you good to go? You ready? You pumped up? Because we're getting down to crunch time. How you moving into the playoffs right now? Are you going to change your how you're approaching the game? Is there any things that you want to change about your game right now?
That's a great question. That's one of the things that's what they never asked. So how do you stop this from happening tomorrow? It's just like the immediate. How do you feel today? I don't feel good. We lost. I mean,
right? It's answer the questions that fans want to actually know. Hey, who's this on tonight? Did you feel like you had your A game, or were you not getting help by your team, or what? Not that they're going to answer it honestly, because nobody's going to throw their teammates under the bus. But all I want to hear from Igor Shesterkin is like, yeah, you know what? I felt good going into tonight. I don't know what happened. A couple got past me. It is what it is. Done. That's all I want to hear from the guy. Not, oh, hey, why did you let that one in through the 5-hole? I don't know, because I was screened and I didn't fucking see it. Okay, Larry?
Yeah, but the crazy thing right now that I'm seeing is, back to the Aaron Rodgers situation, is a lot of Packers fans seem to think that the Packers have leverage over the situation because they find the Jets to be desperate for a quarterback. Now, I don't think Packers fans realize this in the middle of America, in the middle of cheese land. Jets fans are used to disappointment. And being New Yorkers, we're pretty strong assholes. So, like, one of those situations would be like me as a Jets fan, like, I'm used to our team not being good. So the long and short of it is, if it means fucking the Packers, and we don't get Aaron Rodgers because we're fucking the Packers hard because they want fucking 12 first-round picks. If they want 1 first-round pick, and I'm talking they don't want to swap with us, because I'm cool with a swap. If they want 13, we'll take 15. I'm all right with that. But if they want a first-round pick, I would be like, fuck it. You're not getting a first-round pick.
See, at this point, I would give them a first-round pick. I would.
I wouldn't. I would tell them to go fuck their mothers and sit there and eat the $60 million.
I understand where you're coming from, because you're already going off the basis of Aaron Rodgers already just sank the Green Bay Packers' chances of getting a good deal back by saying that he wants to play for the Jets and essentially his time is done in Green Bay. So I understand that, but if you told me before Aaron Rodgers said that he wanted to come to the Jets that we were going to give up a first-round pick and a future first-round pick, I would be for it. Let's say it's a 2024 first-round pick. Sure. No problem. Because guess what? If Aaron Rodgers does what he's supposed to do, that pick's going to be like number 29 or 30. So fuck you.
And if he does and he retires after the season, you don't have a first-round pick the next year.
I understand.
You do a conditional first-round pick, 3rd-round pick, and it can be a first-round pick if we go to the AFC Championship game.
I see. This is where. And I understand that as fans, you're not supposed to delve into the business side of things because who gives a shit? Like we said, it's not our money. It's not our business to run. But from the business side of things, what Aaron Rodgers for just 1 season will bring to the Jets is worth a first-round pick.
Not if he loses.
From the business side of it?
No, from a business side of it. Side of things, you're right. First of all, the Jets games are packed regardless. All the tickets get sold regardless. So
no, I understand. I understand. What I'm saying is the hype around it is going to be through the roof. And dude, just the Rodgers jersey sales week 1 are going to be insane.
And you're right. And you can still get that for not a first round pick.
I understand. I know what you're saying, but I'm not saying I wouldn't be mad if we got fucked out of 1 first round pick.
I would, because we're getting fleeced. He's not worth it. He's not worth it. He's not worth a first round pick. He's 39 years old. He's owed $60 million.
See,
they can't keep him on their team. They can't. If they keep him on their team right now, they can't afford option Jordan Love. So that all these Packer fans are sitting there going, we have our quarterback of the future. First of all, you don't know what the fuck you have in Jordan Love. He hasn't played on a regular basis enough to know whether or not he can replace Aaron Rodgers. That's just hopeful. You hope that sitting behind him for the last 3-4 seasons that he learned something in the process. But the long and short of it is Aaron Rodgers, they have this crazy mindset that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get traded, he's going to retire. He could choose to play the villain and be like, fuck it, I'll be QB2 making $60 million this year, bitch. Because you know what the greatest job in the history of the world is? Backup quarterback on a professional sports team. All right? You get paid $60 million to hold a fucking clipboard. And mind you this, T, think about this one. Jordan Love gets out there. He struggles. Fans are going to be like, we got a 4-time MVP on the fucking bench. What are we doing, guys?
So that's the caveat I was going to say. The money owed does throw a wrench into the gears, if you will. And it's a lot of money. I think that Aaron Rodgers is smart enough to not leave $60 million on the table. If I get it, I'm a blue collar guy. Dude, I'm a blue collar guy. Okay? I don't have all the money in the world. My bank account is probably less than what Aaron Rodgers makes in 6 minutes of play. But if you told me that, listen, I'm putting $2,000 on this table right here, and all you got to do is just like punch yourself in the face once. And then I stand up like, I have dignity, sir. But then, like, no, I'm still going to punch myself in the fucking face because it's $2,000. It's $2,000. Money talks and bullshit walks. But now it's $60 million. We're talking about a yacht. A new yacht.
We're talking about more than a yacht. We're talking about more than a yacht.
No. I don't mean like a yacht. I mean like a Leonardo DiCaprio, Jeff Bezos. Like, hey, that dude has his own city and it's in the water. That kind of fucking yacht. You know what I mean? Like, who would be like, oh, no, I'm not going to screw over the team that agreed to this. You're going to sit there and be like, oh, you don't want to play me? That's fine. Because I got this beer right here and I'm going to drink on it. And in
the middle of the game while I collect my $60 million.
Hold on. I was just worth $60,000. Thank you.
And I don't think the Packers fans realize that the minute Murphy, their GM or president, I believe he's a president, he said, we'd love to have Aaron back unless, I believe he said something along the lines of like, yeah, we'd love to have Aaron back unless everything that we do comes to plan, we'll love to. So basically they're planning on not having him there. So they already said they don't want the guy. He said he doesn't want to play for them. The minute you admit that you don't want the guy on your team, you've lost all leverage because things only have value as long as you value them. That concept of like, oh, it's only as valuable as the person's willing to pay for it. But if the person knows that you have zero value to what you want to purchase, it has zero value. I'll give you a perfect example. The fucking Native Americans had zero value to the island of Manhattan. And the Dutch bought it for fucking trinkets because the natives were like, I don't think there's anything special about this land. We'll take fucking beads. But imagine the Dutch were like, oh, beads and fucking scissors aren't anything. They don't cost anything. Are the natives making that deal?
No.
They're only making that deal if you see what you have as valuable. If you're trying to sell a car and you're like, this car is only worth $5,000, and there's another guy that wants it, and he goes, well, you're fine. I want fucking $50,000. But bro, you only value it at $5,000.
Right.
I'm not paying $50,000 for something you don't even think is worth $50,000. And that's how they feel about Aaron Rodgers. And all these fucking Packers fans are running on, he's a 4-time MVP. He's a 4-time MVP that you don't want. And they're sitting there going, we're not going to get fleeced. We're smarter than they are. We got rid of a fucking undersized blitzing linebacker who plays safety. And we got 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a player for the safety in question and a 4th-round pick. They traded a top 5 wide receiver for a 1st and 2nd round pick. And you're going to sit here and tell me that fucking the Green Bay Packers front office is fucking wicked smart while our guys are fucking jabrones? On the other hand, it's the other way around. Your guys are playing fucking checkers. We're playing chess over here. JD's not going to get suckered.
Listen, no, you're right. Dude, you're right. I don't want to argue with you as if I think that I'm right and we're not in the driver's seat, because the Jets are in the fucking driver's seat, baby. We're pulling the horn because some kid went past and went like this to us, and we're in the 18-wheeler, and we're like, yeah, what's up? Okay, we are in the driver's seat. I'm just saying that me being a fan, I'm okay with giving up a first-round pick to see what we can get out of Aaron Rodgers, knowing how good of a quarterback he is and how good of a team we have right now, especially with the rookies.
I'll tell you right now, I'm okay with giving up a first-round pick if they eat half that $60 million.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on.
But that's the problem, is they want a first-round pick and they want us to take the money. Fuck you.
So I like what you said with the conditional first-round pick. How would you feel if they said, all right, the money's on you. He plays a year, you pay him $30 million. He plays 2, you pay him 60. If he gets you to the playoffs, we get a first-round pick. If not, we do a second.
AFC Championship game.
It's got to be AFC Championship game. That's it.
AFC Championship game, or you get a first. I'll tell you what, I'd be okay with a third this year and a third next year that can become a first. And a player. Give him fucking Corey Davis, too. They have no wide receivers. They have one wide receiver who was good with Aaron Rodgers. Who knows what that guy's going to be with fucking with Jordan Love.
I'll tell you what, dude. The dude on the side of the highway in the wheelchair selling trinkets is a great receiver with Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying. Is they're looking at I believe his name is Christian Watkins. It might be Watson. I can't remember.
Who, the guy on the side of the road?
No. The kid they drafted last year. It might, he looked good last year, but he looked good with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. A lot of people look good with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback.
I agree. Listen, all I know is a lot of people are salty on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had people salty at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Very salty, including Josh Allen, which is always a good thing. And now he can make him salty in the fucking East, in the AFC East.
I just hope when he gets here, it's inevitable that he'll be here. I think it'll happen after June because it costs the Packers less money in June than it does in March. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to agree to a trade out in principle, but it's not going to be effective until June 3rd.
Right.
Because if the Packers trade him after June 3rd, it's a $15 million cap hit. I'm not concerned about Rodgers not being on the Jets up until OTAs. Even if they traded him the day before the first week of the season, I'd be okay with it. Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Dude, what a great pickup Mott was. I know we're not on the Rangers right now, but again, like the fact that we have to pull him in again, I get it. You make maneuvers for the longevity of the team and who you want going forward as the roster, and then you build around it come crunch time with where you need pieces to fit in to, finish the puzzle of your playoff team. But Mott, like getting rid of him and bringing him back, he is a solid player. Just an all-around, like he's not the fancy guy, he's not the finesse guy, but he's the grit guy. He's the guy that gets it done.
All right, let's get there. Okay, we're not there yet.
I'm sorry. I understand, dude. We did 39 minutes so far on Aaron Rodgers.
We did 37
because 2 minutes more time on Aaron Rodgers than his wife has tonight. Oh.
we did 37 minutes because there was 2 minutes of dead air with my mic not working.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like I thought it was me because
you were going full Garth. I'm having a good time. Not.
I legit thought it was me because I'm having a bad night. Last week after our podcast, I went to put away my my Blue Yeti mic, which I paid like $140 for. Good mic, decent sound quality. I'm putting it away, and it just like kind of the cord gets stuck in itself and like rips itself. I took it apart. It came out of the circuit board, the plug-in part. It just was unfixable. So I'm sitting here like, oh, I got mic issues. I'm using my headset that I yell at 12-year-olds on Call of Duty on, thinking that like, oh, it's shitting out on me. And Nick's sitting there like, oh, this asshole, just buy a new mic, you cheap son of a bitch. And then I finally just took control when you were like, it's you. You're good. You're good. It's me. And then all I did was just slam down Irish car bomb, which amazingly, and I don't know if this is a woke thing or not, Nick. I don't know. But some bars will not call it an Irish car bomb.
Yeah, because the IRA makes Irish car bombs and they fucking kill people with them.
But that was like 20-something years ago.
That was like 20 fucking minutes ago. Have you seen Sons of Anarchy? The IRA is still a real thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
I got friends that their relatives can't get on fucking on planes without TSA stopping them because they have the same name as some member of the IRA.
That's fine, but when's the last bombing that happened in Northern Ireland?
Great question. No, I don't think it's. I think it's in Southern Ireland.
No, well, I mean, the revolt was against the Protestant North Irish because that was the original spot where Great Britain was kind of forming Ireland into, Great Britain. So Northern Ireland is Protestant. The rest of Ireland is Catholic.
I knew that one.
So that's where the fighting was Northern Ireland, doubling up.
The last bombing in Ireland was 1998.
See?
I think.
But
I'm going real fast right now. I don't know.
Dude, but the fact that nothing has popped up.
That's like going into an Irish person and asking for a black and tan and being like, come on, guys, that was a long time ago. Oh, they're still salty about the black and tan police coming over and beating their asses, all right?
No, but you get a half and half. It's always been a half and half in Ireland.
I get that, but I'm saying is in America, we call it a fucking black and tan.
Right, because we're wrong.
I mean, not necessarily. Technically, it is black and tan. If you take it the wrong way, then yes, it is the other black and tan. That's bad. But in America, it is in fact a black and a tan beer.
I would say black and gold, but whatever.
Amber.
Now, amber has a reddish hue to it.
Stop it. You have a reddish hue to you.
Especially after a couple Guinnesses.
All right. So long story short, the Packers have zero fucking leverage. I'm not saying the Jets have leverage at all. I'm just telling you the Packers have no leverage whatsoever. And all these Packer fans are running around going, where else are the Jets going to go? The Jets will lose again like they have for the last 50-something years. It's something that we're used to, and I'm not ready to allow another team to claim success over us because off-season victories are the only victories the Jets have, all right? And I'm not allowed to bet some fucking bumfuck team in bumfuck Wisconsin, not even Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
Good land.
They're not even from there. Fucking Green Bay, a fucking population of fucking 65 fucking people. They're fucking Archie fucking comic book fucking living land fucking in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to let them take advantage of a team from fucking the tri-state area, let alone one that represents New York City. That being said, we move on. The World Baseball Classic is taking place right now. I fucking love the World Baseball Classic. Before I get into why I love the World Baseball Classic, we'll talk about the teams that have advanced to the quarterfinal. Right now, quarterfinal bracket is going to be right now. It's Australia. I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm wrong. Right now, the quarterfinal bracket is looking like the U.S. versus Venezuela, Puerto Rico versus Mexico, Cuba and Japan have already advanced to the semis. And that's what we're looking at right now. Big news yesterday.
Pretty solid baseball countries, not for nothing.
Yeah, Cuba, the U.S., Venezuela,
Japan,
Mexico. Mexico's doing some big things. Randy Arozarena is having an amazing World Baseball Classic. He really is. Randy Arozarena, for those of you who don't know, is actually Cuban-born, but became a Mexican citizen when he fled from Cuba. Unfortunately, people still need to flee Cuba because of communism and whatnot. And as he fled from Cuba before he could sign with an American team, he had to establish citizenship in another country, and that country was Mexico. And he's really taken to the Mexican people. He's out there representing Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. And you know what? Let's clap it up for Randy Arozarena. You know, he could have been one of those people that was like, fuck it, I just used Mexico to get what I needed, and now moving on with my life. He didn't do that. He obviously realizes that they did something for him to change his life for the better, and he's doing something for them to maybe make somebody else's day a little bit more bright. And good for you, Randy Arozarena. Before we keep going, I just want to say to Edwin Diaz, que te mejores pronto. I hope you get well soon, brother. Unfortunately, Edwin Diaz got injured last night, celebrating the huge victory that Puerto Rico had over the Dominican Republic. What are your thoughts on the process, T? You know, him getting injured, and now he's out for the season now, torn patella.
Oh, it was the patella. I thought it was the Achilles. Wow, patella tendon.
No, he tore his patella tendon completely.
So we here at the Scoreboard Addicts have a TikTok, and I immediately jumped on the bandwagon to play Timmy Trumpets with him getting helped off the field, because I think if you do not poke fun at somebody hurting themselves, especially in celebration, you're just wasting an opportunity. And I'm not saying that I wish harm on anybody, except like maybe Brad Marchand and Sidney Crosby, and I don't think I'm wrong there either, though. As a Ranger fan, I'm pretty sure there's 28 other teams fans that would be like, yeah, fuck those two dudes. So
Tom Wilson.
Yeah, Tom Wilson, fuck him. Pretty sure there's people in DC that will agree, oh yeah, piece of shit. So I do not wish anything bad on Edwin Diaz, but Mets fans in general set themselves up just for a beating. And as a Yankee fan, you have to deliver that beating to let them know where they stand in the baseball world, right? Because in general, Mets fans seem to think that they have the right to talk shit, but haven't won anything since '86. The same way I have to hear from fucking Devils fans how I shouldn't be able to talk shit as a Ranger fan because the Rangers haven't won a cup since '94. And I don't know if you know this, but math says that '94 came after '86. Only about 8 years. So, and the Rangers have also made the playoffs about 65 to 70% of the time since their last cup win in '94, staying relevant, whereas the Mets have maybe 30% of the time.
Bear in mind, keeping a team together for a few years in baseball is a little bit different than the other three major American sports that we have. So you can win 3 World Series back to back or 3 out of 5 or whatever. Winning 3 out of 5 Stanley Cups is pretty unheard of.
Right. Unless you're like the Montreal Canadiens or, the Edmonton Oilers with Gretzky.
Well, how long ago was that?
I agree. Or the Islanders, which they haven't let us forget about. But guess what? I wasn't born yet. So
that was also 30, almost 40 years ago.
Doesn't count. I wasn't alive yet. The Islanders have made what through round 1 of the playoffs 3 times in the past 30 years. So kiss my ass.
But
anyway,
as you were saying,
I digress.
Mets fans
like to talk shit and say oh, well, Yankees they're not New York's team. The Mets are New York's team. We're taking over. You're a little brother, blah, 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 blah. Dude, shut the fuck up. That's like being in the NHL and telling the Montreal Canadiens, hey, all your cups don't mean anything. They mean nothing. We're the Winnipeg Jets, and even though we were gone for 15 seasons, we're back now and we run Canada. Everybody would point and laugh. They would just point and laugh and be like, oh, we don't even like that part of Canada. Fuck you, buddy. You know what I mean? Mets fans talk shit because they have the New York attitude. Now, while I respect that attitude, you cannot talk that much shit and not expect to get shit on. So yes, I'm going to play the Timmy Trumpet song in a tweet or what's it called, a TikTok of him getting carted off the field because he fucking hurt himself. Okay? The same way when me and my son are goofing around and he accidentally kicks me in the nuts and my wife laughs as I writhe in pain, she has every right to laugh. Every right, because it's fucking funny. People getting hurt and hurting themselves is funny, especially when it's in the ridiculous realm. Okay? Especially when I've watched fucking pro athletes in, let's say, skiing fall down a fucking mountain head over feet for like 200 yards in the Olympics and then get up and give a wave to the crowd and walk away. And this son of a bitch can't jump up and fucking down. At least Jabba Chamberlain, when he hurt himself, his fat ass was on a trampoline. You get some height on that fucking trampoline. Edwin Diaz got 2 feet of vertical air and blew out his patella tendon.
Whoa,
and then you got,
brother, 2 feet is a little, definitely not 2 feet.
I'm giving him a little bit.
It's like 6 to 8 inches.
And you want to say that I'm not justified in the way I think? That's fine. That's your opinion. You know what's not fucking justified is douche rocket Howie Rose sitting there saying, "Thanks, World Baseball Classic." As if it's the World Baseball Classic that hurt him. If he got hit in the face with a line drive fucking ball off a pitch, and that was his career, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. Be fucking pissed. The guy hurt himself jumping up and down in a non-baseball injury. Okay? Would Harry Rose blame the MTA if fucking he was getting on a bus and slipped and fell on a bus and like, oh, what the fuck? He's like, oh, fuck you, MTA. How dare you let Edwin Diaz get on your bus? Why he would be on the bus, I have no idea. The MTA sucks. But shout out to my cousin Danny, who drives a bus.
Is Danny an MTA driver now? Shit, your whole family's
fucking all the time. Dude, listen, my family really loves the New York City pension system.
So obviously, Edmund, I you know what? It sucks. I feel bad for him. And
I'm not saying I don't feel bad for him because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I absolutely feel bad for him, and I feel bad for Met fans that now have to deal with this. But it is not the World Baseball Classic's fucking fault. So cut the shit.
It's not. Listen, we've seen players get hurt in spring training, and me personally, and the mindset and the concept that I'm having a struggle with right now is a lot of fans sitting there saying he wouldn't have gotten hurt if he wasn't there. You don't know that. You have no idea. Anything is possible. All right. And you have no idea whatsoever what would have happened had he not been there, or you never know. He could have played for the Mets and torn his fucking elbow and been out for 18 months.
Easily.
You don't know. You have no idea. And it's just more acceptable to you. All right. The other problem I'm having right now is, a lot of people sitting there saying these games are meaningless. And I don't think they understand that, there are more people out there than just the United States. And in my opinion, today in the world to 2023, the United States are united only in name. We're only united like as the United States, as the country's name, because there's infighting amongst all of them, all of us, right? New Yorkers hate people from New Jersey and hate people from California and hate people from Pennsylvania and Boston. People from California don't like people from Nevada. People from Texas hate people from Colorado. People from Texas hate people from California. We all hate each other. But so many of these talking heads out there have never left the United States. They've never had to defend their country. And when I say defend their country, I don't mean like I do, like where I've trained to fight for my country since I'm 19. I don't mean that. I mean like you went to another country and encountered somebody from another country and they were like, yo, your fucking country sucks. And you're like, fuck you, my country's awesome. And you literally have to just like verbally exchange why your country is better than their country. Puerto Ricans and Dominicans do this regularly. So Puerto Rico beating DR is a huge fucking deal because Puerto Rico beating DR, for those of you who don't know, is like the fucking Yankees beating the Red Sox. And you don't give a fuck because you're not from Puerto Rico or DR. But I got news for you. When Puerto Rico beat those no sock wearing pieces of shit in fucking DR, I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. I wish I had fucking hairs like a diet blonde, like my brethren in fucking Puerto Rico, all right? Like, I'm lucky, man. Listen, I get to root for the U.S. and I get to root for Puerto Rico. If the U.S. plays against Puerto Rico, I'm rooting for the U.S. all day long. I live in New York. I'm from New York. I'm born in New York. So my heart is with the United States of America. But my grandmother lives in Puerto Rico, and I was just there, 4 weeks ago, to see my family. Like, it is awesome that my fucking family that lives in a fucking I'm sorry, Puerto Rico is an impoverished nation. It really is. For them to have something to be fucking happy about and proud of is fucking amazing. And the fact that these fucking jabroni ass fucking no national pride having losers like fucking KFC from fucking Barstool, like fucking Sal Licata, like fucking Keith Olbermann, fuck all three of those fucking losers, okay? Fuck them all.
Hit that
all right?
clap button. Hit that clap button.
They have no fucking national pride whatsoever, okay? I wear an American fucking flag on my uniform every fucking day. I bleed red, white, and blue. And any opportunity that we are given to tell another country they fucking suck, I hope America fucking takes it every day of the week. The only thing upsetting to me about this World Baseball Classic is that more American pitchers didn't fucking show up for the United States of America. It's despicable.
Dude, preach, brother. I love it. And it's funny, too, because it's not hard you don't have to go very far as an American to a different country to see how almost every other country receives us and thinks about us. And it's not good. It's not well. We are not well received. Go to Puerto Rico as a tourist, as an American, and see how you're embraced. Because, and while, again, I went to the touristy areas when I've been to Puerto Rico the couple times I've been there. It's always nice to go someplace and feel like you belong, especially when you don't really speak the language. Obviously, everybody in Puerto Rico, for the most part, speaks English, but I don't speak Spanish at all. Very little. Pequeño. But it's always nice to go someplace where you're appreciated or at least welcomed as if you are invited to be there and not looked at like, because I hate to tell you, all these people that have these fantasies of going on these amazing Mediterranean trips, most of those countries in Europe fucking hate you and will go out of their way to absolutely rape you of your money. They will give you the fucking white American rate, the gringo rate. They will tell you, yo, yeah, you want to buy this? It's this much money because you don't fucking speak the language and you really don't know how the dollar translates to the euro or the pound or whatever the hell it is. And you're just going to go with it. So anytime you can go someplace that has national pride but also respects and enjoys having you as an American there is awesome. And Puerto Rico, if you don't know, is a tiny fucking island. So an island that big, having that much national pride, and having that much love for the United States and us to them, and maybe it's because we're from New York City, and New York City has a huge Puerto Rican population. My wife is Puerto Rican, therefore my son is part Puerto Rican. Maybe I'm a little biased. Go to a Yankee game and you sit next to somebody that's not having fucking a great time, I guarantee you that dude's Puerto Rican or at least part of Puerto Rican. Because that's fucking Yankee Stadium, baby, and that's a great time. Tell me I'm wrong, especially if you're sitting out there with the regular folks, not fucking down low by the cage and behind home plate. If you're sitting anywhere else in the stadium and you didn't pay $400 for your ticket, you're having a great time, and the dude having the best time is probably Puerto Rican because he fucking loves it here.
It just a lot of Met fans that are salty, like KFC and Sal Licata, they're sitting there saying these games are meaningless. And I would tell people to switch places with the player for 10 seconds in your mind. Like, I'm a Yankee. You don't even have to switch places with the player. Let's say you grow up and you're a Yankee fan or you're a Met fan, and you play baseball and you get drafted by the Atlanta Braves, or you get drafted by the Boston Red Sox, and you go through their system and you go to the World Series and you win a World Series. With the Boston Red Sox, you as a Yankee fan, TJ, lifelong, you win a World Series with the Boston Red Sox. Does that World Series mean as much to you as it would if you won it with the Yankees?
I think it means a lot, but I don't think it's as special.
Right? If you won it with the Yankees, because you're a New Yorker, you'd be like, I get to go down my own street.
Yeah.
I go down my own street.
Canyon of Heroes celebrating the World Series.
And my people celebrate me.
Yeah.
That's the fucking dream. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it.
Dude,
so
how about just to that effect, before you continue, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to that effect, where in America, even though baseball is, our pastime, we're not number one anymore.
No.
The NFL is number one.
Okay? We're three now.
Yeah, behind basketball. It is what it is. If you don't know how baseball is received, especially in the Caribbean, it's fucking number one by far.
Asia too.
Yes. Japan baseball is huge. So if you're going to understand the realm in which baseball fits, it's life. Like, literally, I went to Dominican Republic. We went for a all-inclusive vacation. And anytime I've ever gone all-inclusive other places, it's like snorkeling, renting a catamaran and going out, whatever, sightseeing, booze cruise. You know what I did with their fun team in the DR? We played baseball on the beach, and it was fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
And the staff that was involved was like one of our men's league games against a team we really don't like. Like, everybody was amped. It was excellent. And you don't see that shit anymore. I have to force my son at this point to play baseball, to play Little League, because it's just not what him and his friends talk about. They talk about Roblox. They talk about playing video games online. So for every one of these nations that, like Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, this is their World Series, Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, all put together and combined. It means everything. It's the shit of the shit, to put it in the dumbest layman's terms. So you can't sit there and say it means nothing. Fuck it. It's all MLB or nothing, because it's not. National pride takes precedent over your job.
Hey, you're absolutely right. And again, like I said, if you win a World Series with the Boston Red Sox, it means it's important. But if you're from New York and you win it with the Yankees and you're a lifelong Yankee fan, it means everything. All right? You're Puerto Rican. You're from Puerto Rico.
Not your country.
Right. You're Puerto Rican. Like people, like all these Met fans, like Edwin Diaz is only a Met for as long as his contract lasts with the Mets. He'll be Boricua for life. He will always be Puerto Rican. And for his country to celebrate him, for him to bring some pride to a country that's been beaten and battered over the last few years with hurricanes and fucking political fucking problems, to distract his people from all the other fucking issues they're dealing with. That's like, we're blessed in America to not fucking deal with it. There's 9 million Puerto Ricans in the world right now. 9 million. All right. There's fucking 65 fucking Met fans, because who the fuck cares about the Mets? I would gladly sacrifice every single bit of Met happiness from my grandmother to be happy that her fucking country got some fucking rep. A small little island in the middle of the fucking Caribbean got a little fucking rep worldwide.
Yeah.
It means everything. It means fucking everything. Don't be like all these fucking Keith Olbermans of the world. This is what Keith Olbermann posted today on Twitter.
Fuck that dude.
He is a fucking low-life piece of shit.
There's a reason why the only place he has to post his bullshit is Twitter, because nobody will have him. This
is what he said. First, Freddie Freeman, who was playing for Canada. Now, Edwin Diaz. The WBC is a meaningless exhibition series designed to get you to buy another uniform, to hell with the real season, and split up teammates based on where their grandmothers got laid. Call it off now. Are you fucking kidding me right now? What a disgusting piece of shit human being that guy is. All right? Edwin Diaz and the majority of the Puerto Rican team are from fucking Puerto Rico, and his stupid fucking privileged ass. And when I say privileged, I'm not saying that based on fucking race. I'm saying if you're born in the United States and you lived in the United States, you have lived a blessed fucking life, because being poor in America ain't like being poor someplace else.
How about privilege to the effect of you get to dictate what's important to somebody else? thinking that he has the right to say what's important in Edwin Diaz's life. Hey, this is fucking bullshit. You shouldn't be part of this nonsense. It has nothing to do with what we pay you to do. So be a good boy and just come back and fucking throw for the Mets and shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit what your opinion is. Yeah. And Keith Olbermann is a liberal, right? He's the guy that's like, oh, everybody else is a fascist. Yet you're trying to put words in his mouth and tell this dude he can't feel the way he feels, especially on a national level for his country and his countrymen. No. What you want is bullshit. You're a Mets. You're a Mets.
Again, I don't think people understand that when it comes to playing for their country in Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Japan, Korea, Chinese Taipei, Great Britain, every place that's not America, basically, this is their World Series. This is their opportunity to bring some national pride to their country that may not have had it yesterday. Because let's be honest, as an American, like not you in particular, but Americans in general, they have very little regard or respect for any of the countries that are not America.
I mean, I don't respect France, but
we're not going to go there.
Okay, cool.
I mean, when I say we're not going to go there, I mean we're not going to go to France, unless we're going to conquer. Unless we're going to conquer. But they just don't get it. Like the fucking Puerto Rican team beating the Dominican team is like the Yankees beating the Red Sox in the playoffs.
What a shot by Lafreniere. Sorry.
And they just don't, and they don't get it, and I don't expect them to get it. But the sad part to me is that the Americans don't have any pride, and I got to give a huge shout out, and I'll clap it up for Adam Jones. Will Middlebrooks, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts have been outspoken about how important this World Baseball Classic has been. A lot of these guys are talking about how fans are sitting there saying, well, you're not getting paid to play for the American team. You're right. And most of these guys would probably do it for free. And it's okay with them. A lot of these Met fans have delusions that they were going to win the World Series this year. I got news for you. If you're a Met fan, I'm very sorry, but you were not going to fucking win the World Series this year. You're probably not going to win the World Series for a few years. I'm sorry. You can take your owner and as rich as he is, and you're still not going to win the World Series because you're the fucking Mets, ultimately. I'm sorry. I'm a Jets fan.
I know the way to fuck it up.
I know the fucking feeling, all right? If Edwin Diaz didn't and then Met fans, he wouldn't have gotten hurt in spring training. You don't jump around like that in spring training. And then everybody brings up this video from 2 years ago of Met players pretending like they won the World Series 2 years ago in spring training.
I know.
As if that didn't happen. That was 2 years ago.
The other thing. Met fans kind of ask for it. When you want to sit there and try to compare Edwin Diaz to Mariano Rivera, like, where the fuck are you coming from, dude?
I know Mariano Rivera never jumped up like that in the World Series, let alone a World Baseball Classic.
Dude, it's ridiculous. But the funny thing is, with all this World Baseball Classic hate, it actually has me agreeing with Marcus Stroman, who I've never agreed with once in my life.
Oh my, me too. I was like, these motherfuckers got me agreeing with Stroman. God damn it.
Yeah. That's how bad it is. Marcus Stroman's sitting there like, yo, everybody shut the fuck up. Fuck yous. It has nothing to do with yous. You're allowed to do what you want. And if you think you own us, you don't. Like, fuck off and goodbye.
I mean, agreeing with Marcus Stroman. I'm sick about it. I'm fucking sick about it.
I agree. I read that like, holy shit. I hate this guy. I hated him on the Mets. But, come on. They scored.
It hit the post. Great. As a beauty of a deflection, hit the post.
Okay, I thought we were fucking about to be tied. Rangers up right now 2-1 over the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we hoping we can hold on to that lead.
Though, just to wrap up baseball, a couple things. One, World Baseball Classic, yay or nay?
I'm a big time yay.
Fucking yay. Go America.
Especially for the countries where baseball is still number one. You have my respect 100%. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that anything else is more important than your national pride or you putting that sport number one, because I respect it. I support it. I love it. World Baseball Classic.
I wish the American pitchers would have shown a little bit of fucking pride in their country, because guys like Verlander and DeGrom and all these other guys that are top pitchers that have already gotten paid have no excuse for not participating. You've already made your fucking money.
And everybody that says, oh, well, they could lose out on incentives and blah, 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 it's called fucking insurance, and they all have it. Cut the shit.
Mike Trout's out there right now.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is out there right now. Shohei Ohtani is out there right now. I don't want to hear the fucking bullshit of it all. I really don't. It's all about where you're coming from. And again, this is for their people. A lot of these countries, their people have gone through some shit, and they deserve happiness. And if this brings them a little bit of fucking happiness and pride, God bless them that they earned it. We're blessed that we have enough that we don't need to fucking do extra shit.
I agree.
Couple things, last things about baseball. Anthony Volpe should stay up or go down. Have you seen anything about that?
A little bit. I want him up, but whatever. Call me naive. Call me somebody that doesn't understand baseball. Call me somebody that doesn't understand the business of baseball. I want him up.
I just want to point out that Mickey Mantle made his debut at age of 20. And back then, there were less teams, and therefore every team was basically a fucking stud team. Even the worst team in baseball was better than the worst team today, because clearly if there's less teams, that means there's less spots for more talent. So that means that every team is statistically has the better players. When you start making more teams, you thin out the amount of talent that's available. So when Mickey Mantle made his debut in 1952, I believe it was 1951, he was in fact 20 years old and still managed to have a Hall of Fame career, which Jason Dominguez is also 20 years old right now. And I believe Bryce Harper made his debut at 20.
Let's end that. It's not about money, dude.
It's
about money. It's about minor league contracts. It's about how long you can string somebody along, essentially, for a bullshit deal.
You get salary arbitration ending, and you hit free agency after 6 years of service. And Hal Steinbrenner doesn't want to pay these guys when they're 26. He wants to pay them when they're 32.
Correct.
That's what it comes down to. It's not about the Yankees are not about winning World Series. They're about making smart business decisions.
That's it.
They're not running a baseball club. They're running a business.
I agree. And you want to know why baseball's not doing well? It's not about the fucking pitch clock and pitchers taking too long on the mound. It's about baseball being about business and not fucking trying to win at all costs.
It's not about entertainment.
Not at all.
Not about
because if it was about entertainment, you'd have an owner calling up downstairs and saying like, "Hey, they're shifting on him again." Yeah, I know what. Have him bunt and make a cock out of them. Tell him to flip them off on the way to first base when he bunts it. I'll pay the fine.
Yep, that's it. So, I mean, Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez should be on the opening day roster. I don't give a fuck about fucking time or anything. The Yankees got the fucking money. They're still the richest team in baseball. Oh, but Steve Cohen has more money. He didn't have any of that money from from baseball. He's not making that money from the Mets. Yep. Hal Steinbrenner has fucking $5 billion simply because the Yankees exist. All right? Zero sympathy for them. Pay the fucking money when it comes time to pay them. And play the kids. Play the fucking kids. They deserve it. They're playing their fucking asses off right now. And everybody goes, oh, but it's spring training. It doesn't count. If that's the case, why does Josh Donaldson and fucking Aaron Hicks still suck balls? If it's so fucking easy in spring training, how come these two veterans still suck and the young kids are raking?
Yeah.
Special shout out to Andres Chaparro. He's having a great fucking
watch. Fucking Aaron Hicks miss a fucking fly ball.
But moving forward, away from baseball, we're talking a little bit of Rangers hockey.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's talk about. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm happy to say that I wouldn't say we're wrong, but slightly wrong about Kane, who's coming on pretty nicely right now.
So, slow start.
To be fair, that slow start was about a week and a half, but they really only played like 2 games in a week and a half. It was crazy.
I agree. It's more the argument that we were doing because so many Ranger fans were like, dude, he's an impact player. He's going to immediately change the game.
Give them everything. Give them everything.
And it's like you're throwing that out there a little too liberally. You're just slathering it on, and you have no idea what you're talking about because he's older. He's a little banged up. He's kind of having an off year. His assists came up pretty nicely, which is awesome. But it's not – I hate people that just assume that you could take somebody, and as good as they might be, throw them into a new situation and think they're just going to deliver the world. And there's a learning curve. Listen, against the Capitals, he had a great game. He was in the mix with everything. That shot from the fucking point, dude, that went 5-hole was crisp. That's the only way I can describe it. It was crisp. Just fired it 5-hole. Amazing. But the one thing I did notice is that on the power play, now that he's on a line with Panarin, it's becoming a little bit too much of a pass fest. As like, who's going to shoot the puck? Oh, let me dish it to Paddy Kane. Let me dish it to Panarin, and it's a little bit of a shit show mess to shoot the puck. Get more pucks on net, you get more goals. It's simple. It's math. It's statistics. So I think the Capitals game and his effort there kind of gelled it in for me to like, all right, I'm very happy with what we got going on right now. And I can see this team hitting that gel point where it all comes together as a cohesive unit and get away from that learning curve. That's obviously going to happen when you have somebody like Patrick Kane come to the team. I think they're going to move past that pretty quickly. I think he's going to just get right in the mix with everything that's going on and at the perfect time, because we're going into the playoffs. We're not missing out on the playoffs, and we're going to need all the help offensively that we can. Because you have the Devils who are on a tear. You have Boston who's unstoppable. You need it. So I wasn't for the Patrick Kane deal when, Lafreniere was in the mix and they wanted somebody from the kid line kiss my ass.
That was our sticking point. Our sticking point was not that he wasn't going to be good and fuck him. Our sticking point was we're not giving up the farm for this guy. And it's the same shit with Aaron Rodgers, right?
Not giving up the future.
I don't want to give up a first round pick for a guy who may not be here next year. It just doesn't make sense. You clearly don't value the guy, so why should I?
Right.
If you're shopping him around and he said, I want to be here, it's almost the exact same shit that happened with Paddy Kane.
A little bit. Patrick Kane wanted to come to the Rangers, but he had them by the balls with the no trade clause. Like, yeah, that's the only place I'll go. So, and then put it out there, though, to the media, essentially allowing the Rangers to be like, yeah, we'll take him off your hands and we'll pay him. That's because that's all you're going to get, essentially.
To be fair, though, I mean, it's essentially the same shit that Aaron Rodgers did, except that he doesn't have a no trade clause. He has a I'll retire clause.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing, right? Because who's going to trade for a guy who's like, I'm not going to play for you? I'll retire.
Right, which is fine, but either way, that helps Green Bay. In this situation, nothing helped Chicago.
No, it doesn't. They still owe him the money. They still owe him the money, whether he retires or not. There's still a dead cap hit.
Right, but they don't owe him the remaining $60 million. They owe him what is guaranteed.
There's $60 million.
Is it $60 million guaranteed?
It's like 49. Might as well be 60.
Okay.
They got to get rid of that contract. Long story short.
I thought it was in the 20s. Not that that's nothing, but
you know what I'm saying. So like, Patrick Kane's. Oh fuck you. Patrick Kane. It was kind of in a very similar situation to Aaron Rodgers in a sense that he could have just sat there and been like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to do what I need to do, whatever." And
once again, we can't clear a fucking puck, and it leads to a goal.
And what happened with Patrick Kane? Patrick Kane was traded for what? A second round pick, a third round pick, or some shit like that.
Essentially,
it was wild. He was changed for a conditional second round pick, and a fourth pick, and a defenseman.
I think it could be. Can it be? I think it can turn into a first if the Rangers make the Stanley Cup. I could be wrong. I thought it could be as high as a first.
I mean, it is a conditional second. It could be a first, yes.
Okay.
But again, that's what I talked about with the fucking Packers.
Right.
It's the same fucking deal in a different sport. But Patrick Kane's come on nicely. He's had a couple points here in the last few games. Looking really good, actually. And again, there was never a situation where it was like, we don't want that guy. It was, we don't want that guy if we're going to have to give up. That's it. I'm not paying $1 million for a guy that's only worth $100,000. It's just stupid.
No, I agree.
Like, nobody needs him that badly.
Not at all.
And that's my take on Aaron Rodgers. And that was your take on Patrick Kane. And again, not a situation where you're sitting there going, oh, fuck that guy. I don't want him. He's trash. It was he's not the person that he was 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And there's nobody to dispute that.
Listen, we all know the deal. We're not in our prime for very long. And I at this point, I don't even know if I had a fucking prime. So,
prime from about 3.5 years ago.
My prime was like when I could eat a Big Mac and a large fry from McDonald's and not like have to take a 2-hour nap and jiggle for a week.
Your prime was when you were eating Lee's Tavern and beers every night for fucking 3 weeks.
And
I
winning
don't know how you
fucking
get
men's league
pizza.
championships, laying out in right field from second base, making catches for the fucking game winner.
I was there.
You were.
I was there. And then he would go and eat shitty pizza at Lee's Tavern.
Fuck you. Lee's Tavern's amazing. Shout out to Lee's
Yeah,
Tavern being
Lee's
awesome.
Tavern is fucking Lunchables fucking crackers with cheese and sauce.
Your Lunchables crackers.
I don't know. I never met an Italian person whose last name was Lee.
Met him last week. He was cool as shit.
Giuseppe Lee. The fucking rich cracker with cheese and sauce. They don't even have fucking crust. That place is gross.
You cut the shit, okay? That place is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll go to Lee's right now. I'll meet you there.
You know how there's no such thing as bad pizza or bad fucking sex? Lee's Tavern is like sex with a corpse made of sandpaper. Quote fucking
So
John
unnecessary.
quote John Stewart.
Dude. Fuck John Stewart. Okay? Let's go with this. Fuck John
That was his quote about Chicago pizza. Their pizza is like sex with a corpse made of sandpaper.
Oh, dude. Lee's Tavern's amazing. I can't have this argument with you. If you're in the Staten Island, New York City area, go check out Lee's Tavern. It's a great time. You'll be welcome like family. Get yourself
If
an
you
ice
want-
cold Sam Adams and a nice pizza. And
You want to
call
see
it
what
a
a
day.
Irish guy make you pizza? Go ahead.
Kiss my ass, bro. The white clam pie is amazing. Okay, the chicken and hot pepper pie is
Yeah,
to
news
die
that's
for.
not putting on that white clam.
I swear to God, I'll quit this fucking podcast right now. I don't think anybody would give a shit either. I'm not trying to say like I'm high and mighty, but I'll fucking walk away right now. You cannot sit here and shit on Lee's Tavern in front of me. It's not allowed.
I just did. You're
Okay.
by the way,
Lee's
bar
Tavern,
behind
time out. No. Time out. Lee's Tavern is historic. Okay, why? Because Lee's Tavern is notoriously a Mets bar. Okay, and I know we're bringing it back to baseball and the New York Mets and how I dislike them and love to shit on them. But I was sitting there eating pizza, drinking a pitcher of beer, right? Okay? And what happened? I watched the play of plays. Watched their second baseman drop a fucking pop-up. Okay? And Mark Teixeira come around to fucking score. I got to see that there at a Mets bar.
it was Luis Castillo dropped that
Luis
ball.
Castillo, thank you. I couldn't remember his name because he was a Met and who gives a shit.
He was a Marlin, and that's why I care.
Okay? I got to see that at a Mets bar. And then as soon as fucking, who was it, A-Rod popped up,
Yeah.
as soon as it went in the air, I'd be like, yeah, fuck the Yankees, woo! And then he dropped a can of corn, and it went silent. And I stood up, and I said, woo! You guys fucking suck! And was met with zero resistance. I think a couple people died that night.
You know, I saw the Mets lose the World Series at Oh, let's go. Don't call it a comeback. Kreider. I watched the Mets lose the World Series a couple years back at what's the bar? What's the bar over there in by the Cyclone Stadium?
Peggy O'Neill's. I used to work there.
No, the one that's attached?
Yeah, underneath. Peggy O'Neill's.
Oh, it wasn't Peggy O'Neill's the last time I went there.
Fair enough.
When I went there at that point, it was no longer Peggy O'Neill's.
Okay.
But I went there, and it was obviously a bunch of Mets fans there because Coney Island has the Cyclones there.
Right.
And I'm there with my uncle who's a Mets fan, and they lose to the Royals, and it's just like everybody just left immediately. It was almost like you snapped your fingers and they were gone. But that was a good time too. I was also in Philly when the Yankees beat the Phillies in the World Series. The game that A-Rod broke the camera. I was in Philly for that at a Halloween party, and it was fucking awesome to watch all these people who were Phillies fans like so happy, and then like poof. I was like, yeah, suck it.
That's
Good
how you
times.
get stabbed.
No, I was at the girl I was dating's house at the time, so I was safe.
I will say this: Phillies fans are not like Eagles fans. They will not try to stab you and gut you for
Or
no good
Flyers
reason. Flyers fans are still a little more reserved than Eagles fans. Comparatively, Phillies fans don't give a shit.
True at all. I can't remember the last time a Flyers fan assaulted a Giants fan, but I remember a fucking Flyers fan assaulting a Rangers fan.
You mean an Eagles fan assaulting a Giants fan? Well, let's put it this way. Our coach, our skip from men's league baseball, Dennis, went to a Giants Eagles game.
He's not even a fucking Giants fan. That man is a fan of whatever team is playing that week.
He is, in fact, a Denver Broncos fan, but he went outside to find
Denver.
They
Never
stole
been to
his
Colorado.
license plate, bro. They stole his license plates off his car because they said New York. Like, that's fucked up, but hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Shout out to Dennis. I miss you, Skip.
Damn,
I miss
Skippy.
you, bro. I'll see you. I'm gonna catch up with that guy soon.
Listen, Dennis said he is 100% in for a little guest appearance, so I would love to have him on and absolutely shit on us as baseball players.
Oh, he would never do that. He would never do. We were his favorites. Are you kidding me?
I was his favorite to yell at.
No, stop it. You were his favorite, man. Come on now. You were the captain. El Capitan.
Yeah.
You were the guy breaking it down for us.
Threatening us.
Matt from Wrestling Addict says, happy 316, boys. 316. It is Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. It is 316. Cheers. Cheers, Matt. Thank you for the reminder. Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. And I fucking love it. Steve Austin, amazing fucking impact on fucking everything, the Attitude Era. And here's to you, Steve.
And we did enjoy this year for Frat Pack Christmas. We did enjoy his beer, his IPA when we were down in Atlantic City.
We did.
Was it Broken Skulls or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It was actually pretty damn good. And I'm not a huge IPA guy.
It was light. It was light. It was flavorful.
It was crisp. It was drinkable.
It didn't bloat. Like, it was good stuff. I liked it. But I think that's all I got. Rangers playing now up 3-2 against the Penguins. One last thing. I'm pretty sure his name is Ja Morant. Seems to be a full-fledged retard. And excuse me, in the retarded community. And this kid from the suburbs has decided he wants to go full gangsta. Kill shot, and it seems like he's paying some pretty big dividends for it right now. He tweeted earlier today something along the lines of like, "Oh, there's real consequences to this shit," and I gotta sit there and kind of say, like, when did you think there wasn't? Like, I just think that's kind of bizarre for somebody to sit there and be like, yeah, there's real consequences to this. Yeah, no shit, you're an adult, my friend. Like.
I love how, and I don't mean to get political, but the scope of politics in this country as far as guns go is that it's so easy to get a gun legally in this country.
Well,
yet
it depends.
How many celebrities and athletes who have a plethora of money and influence and opportunity, how many of them still have to go buy an illegal firearm or presumably, allegedly, whatever, we don't know the situation, illegal firearm to flash? It's not that fucking easy to get one legally in this country, most places.
It depends on where you live. And in his
Either way,
hold on.
You have to pass it back.
To be fair, without getting political, you have to take into consideration what is in fact considered an illegal firearm. Technically speaking, if I buy a firearm in Florida and I bring it to Georgia, it is now an illegal firearm.
Well, what I'm saying is the process to actually buy a firearm and go through a NICS check, which is a federal background check to buy a firearm, right? everything that's ever been in your record is going to come up. And guess what disqualifies you? Just about everything. If you're a drug user, disqualified. If you've ever been to a rehab, you're pretty much disqualified. If you're on antidepressants and it's noted and uh, pretty much if it's out there in public knowledge, you're not able to get a firearm. If you have ever assaulted any fucking buddy in a domestic situation, you're not getting a firearm. It's
Well, yeah,
not
you can't sign a Lautenberg agreement. Anybody that's been in a domestic issue at all can't have a firearm, to include
Right.
military and law enforcement.
Which is essentially if you were dating some girl at 16 years old and you're both crazy kids, a lot of hormones going on, and you get into a slap fight or just shove each other and the cops are called because some are seeing you guys pushing each other and yelling at each other, and you got that on record, you're not getting a fucking gun.
Brother, I got news for you right now. You're sounding real Ryan Leafy. Okay, just want you to know that you're defending the.
I'm not trying to. What I'm saying is, as a dumb teenager, you do stupid shit. Bro, I fucking jogged around my neighborhood naked as a teenager. Would I do that now? No, because I understand that everybody's going to make fun of me for what I got going on. I'm just saying, I had no sense of awareness back then. And that's what comes with age and knowledge.
You made everybody a criminal. Like, you just made everybody like open to child pornography. Like, what is wrong with you?
If they looked, that's on them. I didn't have a trench coat, but I was wearing black socks.
When you represent any type of organization, and you should know this, you work for the city of New York, and I work for the Department of Defense, Department of the Army. When you're wearing their clothes and you're a public figure, like I am not a public figure. I am not a public figure. I am a private figure. I'm just for myself. And as long as I'm not in my uniform, nobody can sit there and say that I represent any organization other than the Scoreboard Addicts podcast and on occasion Belly Up. And I only have to answer to the Scoreboard Addicts podcast and Belly Up. So how I represent them is between us and, it's internalized. Now, when I throw a uniform on, I represent a different organization, and I'm held to that standard. When you're an NBA player, an MLB player, an NFL player, an NHL player, a FIFA player, or any type of professional athlete, you represent that organization at all times because they are out there promoting you to be famous.
Right.
And you hurt their brand when you do stupid shit. And I'm sorry, but Ja Moran, God damn it, if he ain't the fucking stupidest individual I've seen in the life. Especially what's bothering me is I've seen some players in different sports across the board condemn his actions to say, like, dude, you're not like that. Why are you acting like that? If you were like that, like if you really were about that life, you wouldn't be sitting there celebrating it as a rich man. And I've seen and honestly, some of the people that I've seen their reactions to his actions at this point, I'm going, oh my God, that guy must have been a real fucking gangster and killed a whole bunch of people. Like in a situation where he didn't want to do it because that was the life that he led. And this kid comes from the suburbs and he's trying to be all fucking gangster and shit. And he's not about that life.
The funny thing is, if you're a gun owner in this country and the scope on guns, even though you went through the process, you purchased one legally for what? To defend your family, because it's your Second Amendment right, because you like to go to the range and plink a little bit and shoot targets because it's fun. It really is. If you never tried it, I recommend you try.
It's fucking rough, bro. You gotta clean that shit out.
It's not dangerous. You learn the safety. Listen, it's if you do it for a your job, I understand why it's not fun.
It's like picking up garbage and trash.
Yeah, I get it, but it is fun. But most gun owners in this country will not be throwing their guns all over social media because they don't want to be put on an FBI list. They don't want to be known as a gun owner because they know they're subjugated and subjected to bullshit and, a scrutiny, if you will. So the fact that if you're going to play that game of like, flashing a piece, and by the way, he was limp wristing the shit out of that gun. Like, that was the pose of, I'm going to either shoot myself or some random person 6 feet behind.
By accident.
Because I don't know what the fuck with this thing. Yeah, 100%. Like, this thing might go off. It might not. I don't even know. It says 9mm, but I put 38s in it. That's good, right?
I don't know the conversion rate.
Goddamn metric system.
That was great, by the way.
Just saying, like, guns can be very safe if you take the time and effort to understand what you're dealing with and give them respect and reverence. When you do this shit and you're holding the end of it and you're just all willy-nilly with it, that's like driving a car and leading the seat all the way back and just going like I can kind of see and just steering it with two fingers on the fucking highway. Like, don't do that shit. That's not cool. That's not acceptable. And especially don't do it if you're a public fucking figure representing a multi-billion-dollar organization. That should go without saying. It's just
and
dumb.
that's the thing. Like, oh, there we go. That's the capper right there. Anytime you beat Pittsburgh is a good one. I think we've talked enough, though. Anthony says, Anthony Rook, always in our hearts and sometimes in our minds. Ryan Leaf is an L7 weenie. I can't disagree with you. Anybody that hits their wife or burglarizes another person is definitely an L7 weenie. Anything else you got? Anything else about after we just shat on fucking John Morant and his wannabe gangster?
I just like shitting on people because you know what, as far as guns go in this country, law-abiding citizens that follow the rules and went through the entire process of trying to get a gun just for, you know, home defense or going to the gun range and shooting a little bit and having fun with that and just being a sport, essentially. You go through a lot, and that scope of just waving it around like playing that game of fuck it, I don't give a shit. Yeah, this thing has the potential to hurt somebody, and the way I'm holding it, it probably will hurt somebody. Not a big fan of that. You know what I mean? And politically, the scope is, you know, apparently I must be a redneck, psycho, gun-toting weirdo. But in reality, you have to have respect and reverence for anything that you're doing that has the potential to hurt anybody else. Driving a car, operating heavy machinery, like a little respect and knowledge and safety goes a long way. And I will tell you this from the gun community, people like John Morant doing bullshit, you're painting us in a really bad light. And we don't like that. It's a bad fucking look. If he would have posted himself a picture of him going through a training class and having the proper fucking stance, throwing the weaver up there, if you will, and just two hands on the gun, no problem. Hey, guys, look at this shit. No big deal. Waving that shit around, playing the gangster look at me game, not cool. You're just putting everybody in a bad light.
What about it is he's not a gangster. He ain't about that life. No. And what's crazy, again, I've seen pro athletes. I saw Sauce Gardner say something about like, yo, you ain't about that life. Why would you pretend like you are? And to me, in my brain, that makes me think, oh my God, Sauce Gardner definitely came across some shit in his life. And he made the right choice and decided to go toward the path of the righteous man. And he's sitting there looking at this man like, dude, you never went through the struggle. And you're pretending like you went through the struggle. And it doesn't make sense. And you know what? He's absolutely right. And I'm kind of scared of Sauce Gardner now, but I love him. Rangers win again. Anthony is upset, him being a diehard Rangers hater. Rangers win again, and he says Rangers won again because he hates the Rangers. Don't listen to him, folks. He absolutely hates the Rangers and does everything he can to make them lose. Anthony says, as far as John Morant is concerned, he posed with the guns with girls in bikinis. Yeah, he broke out a gun in the middle of a strip club, which is a public area, and not something exactly. And he posted on his Instagram, which was the stupid. It's not even like he got dimed out by somebody else. He did it to himself. It's the same thing with Edwin Diaz. Like, I feel like we're going full circle all night. Same shit with Edwin Diaz. You did it to yourself. You're a fucking idiot.
I agree.
But all that being said, I think to recap the show, World Baseball Classic up, John Morant down, Packers down, Jets up, Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee way up, and the New York Rangers on top of the Pittsburgh Penguins. What was that? 4-2 here on St. Paddy's Eve. Raise a Guinness to you all. Have a great have a great and a safe St. Patrick's Day, as my friend TJ would say. Everybody's out here on St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Have a cold one
Cheers.
for us. From Scoreboard X Podcast, we wish you an Erengobrach.